All right, everybody. Happy Monday. It's that time of the week. Again, we've finished up our weekend. Hopefully, you've had a chance to will, skill, and refill over the weekend. And we're ready, recharged, and good to go to hit our week hard. We want to win the week. What does that mean? That means winning every day. What does that mean? Following a plan. It's as simple as that. Guy, you and I have talked about this numerous times. It's all about following a plan, putting a system in place and then just going down the path of following that system, creating the daily habits and getting into that daily routine that takes us forward towards reaching all of our goals and ultimately, living a life by design. So with that being said, Guy, I think back to when we first started, and this is where I want to start at. Like, we've been doing this for a while. We did it all last year. We're doing it all this year. We did it for most of the last decade. And a lot of people, maybe this is their first time making a plan. Maybe they need to flush out their system and figure out what they're going to be doing this week. Maybe you're watching this and this is your friendly reminder that you need to sit down and spend 15 minutes to make that plan. But let's talk about some of those things. I've actually got a sheet, Guy. You held it up last week. We're going to be putting together a PDF of this for everybody. But it's basically an outline for making a weekly plan. It doesn't get any more simple than this, everybody. Let's start out with what's our number one goal for the week. We know what our big goals are. We know what we're working towards, but we're not worried about the end goal. We're worried about the goal for this week. So, Guy, when I'm thinking about what is my number one goal, and for a lot of people out there who are doing this and doing this planning specifically for their business, maybe it's getting one new referral. That would be a pretty good goal for the week. If last week you went back and you looked and you didn't have any referrals in your business, maybe one new referral, or maybe it's one new customer. What business are you in? What thing are you promoting? Maybe you're promoting LFI, maybe you're promoting Shuffle. What does one new customer look like for you? If that was a weekly goal and you did that consistently all year long, that's 52 new customers. What does 52 new customers look like for you? Or maybe it's one new team member. I know a lot of people we support, Guy. They work in big groups, big communities, and big teams. And one of the big goals for everybody is to add team members. So what are you doing to work towards that goal? What does that number one goal this week look like for you? Maybe you're a rock star out there. One new customer, I do that on a daily basis. Great. Then maybe your goal is 5, 6, 7, 10 new customers, new referrals, new team members. You need to set it according to where you are in your process or your path. But if you're just starting out, let's set that one goal. Guy, I'm going to throw it over to you. Just any thoughts on why it's important to just have a weekly goal?
It's important to have a weekly goal base so you have something to guide you through the week, right? Being able to say, this is what I want to work towards. A direct referral, a direct conversation to talk about my business, my opportunity, just building rapport ultimately is what it comes down to. There's our word, ultimately. What it comes down to is making sure that you have something that's going to drive you, that's going to impact you, but in essence, impact others. I think there's so many things when setting goals up and we talk success all the time, and success to everyone is totally different. But I think what people can look at that really would help define success is just happiness and being able to exude confidence and knowing going into this world that there's so much negativity out there. There's so much finger pointing. There's so much happening that you can't do this. This won't succeed. Those different types of things. And that's all BS. The only thing that's going to make an impact is yourself, and having that self-confidence and understanding that I can go out and I can have a goal and I can achieve it. And no matter what anyone else says, I'm the one that's going to right the ship, be my own captain, move forward in whatever I'm going to do. And no one else's opinion matters. And in knowing that confidently, I can go out and from LFI, from any other business that LFI helps me get information out to others, I can go out with confidence knowing that I am positively able to impact with something, with someone that may enlighten them, may help them achieve more, through implementation. And we all know that goals are all based and reached on systems. There's so many studies out there. We listen to it even in conversation. We listen to it through books, saying that you can have a goal and you can work towards that goal. But if you don't have a system in place, you're never going to reach it. You're never going to achieve it. Compared to, you might not even have a goal, but if you just run a system to get better incrementally, 1% a day, 365% through a year, then you will achieve so much. And I think that's what we really want to come into our sprint plannings, our Tuesday trainings with Kathy, Mindset of a Champion, Masterminds with ER on Thursday, our Friday with the Founders, is knowing that there's a community here that is here to support and be able to be leveraged for yourself, for your network, for your community, for anyone who is just looking for potential positivity. Just because, like I mentioned, there's so much bad crap out there that people, they hang everything on that, and understand that a mindset, a positivity, being able to say, I'm going to determine what I'm going to do, and know that there's so many people out there. There's so many people within this community that are supported, but are also supporting others to know that there's a great place to advance business, and it's all done through so many things. But this community is something that I deem as very special, and we're just continuing to grow it. And we grow this based on individuals like everyone who's joining, people who will watch later, and understand that we continue to move the dial forward through technology, through systems, and to reach those goals of every day, every week. There's a system here that can help you implement and move towards those.
Well, and Guy, I just want to comment on your thoughts about community and about us contributing on these calls to help each other. And I think it speaks directly to the quote you've got behind you. I love that you change that up every day. And it's people who want to see you win, help you win. We are here to help you win. And this is the whole reason why we're doing sprint planning every single Monday, right? We're going to have done this 52 times by the end of the year, Guy. We've already accounted for that in our minds. And we're already just going through here about halfway, a little bit over halfway through February. So you got to remember that people want to help you win, and you need to be looking out for those communities to join in. Now, let's say we've established our big goal for the week. Like, let's start out with that. Maybe it's to make that one sale. Okay, Guy, you talked about it. There are systems in place that you can be implementing on a repetitive basis that will lead you in the direction of achieving that one goal. And I want to step back on that. Let's say our goal, and I thought about this while I was posting out the broadcast for today. Let's say we were getting ready to go on vacation. Guy, I know you guys just did a little quick weekend getaway. You're back at the house. It was for your birthday, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. But planning for a trip or a vacation, are you a person who just gets in the car and turns the key, says, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going to go have a vacation? Or are you the person who sits there and says, hey, I'm going to go out here at this time on this date, and I need to have all of these items prepared in order to make that vacation a success? Guys, that's planning, right? That's planning for a vacation. And I'm always amazed every time I plan for a vacation, like the 2 days before, I just get so much stuff done because I've got my checklist and I'm just checking things off and getting them done. Also, I read an article this morning, I'll post it out, but research indicates that individuals who go to the grocery store, right, where our goal is to get food for the week or for the next 2 weeks, et cetera. That's the goal. Research indicates that people who go to a grocery store with a list save 25 to 30% on their grocery expenses. I don't know. I like to win. I like to save money. I like to do those types of things. Making a plan and then going and executing that plan, even if it's all in the span of an hour trip to the grocery store, can have a positive impact. This is what all of this is about. We're just looking at it through the lens of our business. And that's really where you want to be looking at it. You can look at it through every area of the wheel of life. Guy, you talked about balance. You talked about gratitude. You talked about all of those things. That's balancing out what we believe success is, a full balance on your wheel of life. And one of those things that we're planning on is we plan for our business. I planned for my health and executed for my health this morning when I got up at 5 a.m. and I did a workout. The system is easy. Get up every day at 5 a.m. and do your workout. All I have to do is check that off every day. I reviewed last week, Guy. I missed Friday. Okay. We got a little puppy dog. She was up all night long, and I just didn't get up at 5 a.m. and get that workout in. And then the craziness of the day happened, and I didn't find time in the evening to get the workout in. So out of my 5 workouts, I got 4 done. 4 out of 5 isn't bad, right? 80%. I feel like I still won the week. So the same thing here when we're looking at this through the lens of our business. If our number one goal for the week is to get that new sale or to make that new referral or to get that new team member, let's think about the steps that are necessary. And Guy, you called this out, and I think it's worth speaking to it because this is something that Shuffle can directly support us in, and that's the relationship. A lot of this business comes from our network, comes from our relationship, comes from the interactions we're having with other people. And I know that within Shuffle, I can start to measure some of those things, keep them on track and not let them fall through the gaps. You know, I'm thinking about this week's 8 in play on my sheet here and what I need to do to stay in front of people. You know, maybe it's generate some more leads. Maybe it's follow up with some people. Guy, what are your thoughts to that? Loaded question.
Right, loaded question. I have to unmute myself because the bulldog is in full snore. Can you repeat the question? Because I was looking here. But
this week's 8 in play and how we can leverage Shuffle technology on managing some of this, right? Whether I'm out there prospecting, trying to generate new people to get that one sale, or whether I'm working my existing prospects or existing customers. Guys, you got to have a plan in place. Maybe you're going to do some outreach this week.
Right. You know, it goes back from our our athletic background. We always had a game plan. We had a day plan. We had it down to the minute from the aspect of what we're doing when we're doing it, and it was mind-numbingly simple on what we had to do. We really didn't even have to think about it. But then when we got out of that world, we had to figure out how to create our own system. And I think what helped us is understanding that the past life has led clues for us to take into the business world, and why we do these every week, and knowing that you know, we have our priorities. The 8 in play to ER and I, just to give an example, is at times it's like we got 8 different things we have to do right now at this hour, because the next hour there's 8 other things. And if we don't get to it, it's just slid down the list, but it's set as a priority for the next hour or the next day, whatever that is. You talked about it on Friday, you know, because there's times where 8 in play can get extremely heavy when it's in-depth conversations, when it's large groups coming in, experiencing what we have to offer and be able to take that to them. But the thing that always is resonating to me when we go into every one of these meetings that is a comforting feeling, or for anyone else to potentially think about this, is we are giving. In each one of these conversations, we're giving without the intent of receiving. We know that there's just a better way to do things, and we give of our time. We give of time away from other things to support others. And I think that goes to a lot of this from the question or from the statement of being able to help others win is there is no expectation coming back from us. We just want to be able to support. So when we go into those 8 in plays, we're coming here as a support mechanism to say, there's just a better way to do things. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, we're sorry. Because it really is that simple in conversations. What is LFI ER? Or LFI is a simple platform that's designed to help you network better and market better. Mm-hmm. And if you aren't looking for that in business, ask yourself, why? Right? Because is your business advancing? Is other people's business advancing? That's why I think it's such something to ER and I, that giving without the intent to receive is, there's so many people out here that can be utilizing systems, can be utilizing something like LFI that don't know about it. And that if I were just a phenomenal affiliate, I would be making sure that I let other people know that there are things available to them to help them reach their goals, that there's a community here to support, that there's leadership that will give of time. And the exact same thing from yourself is knowing if I'm an affiliate and I'm here to show you something, that I want to give to you without the intent of earning anything, that I'm just here to help support you. That's a long-winded answer, I guess, to your question.
No, I think this is important, right? And this is really, when I think about making that plan, it's also about having the knowledge, the skills, and the tools, to Guy's point, to implement that plan, right? And to follow through with the system that I'm tracking along with. So what I want to do, I'm going to share my screen real quick and just bring up an example of how you can use Shuffle to implement your plan for the week. Okay. I'm in my Shuffle. I'm on the desktop. You can do this from your mobile device if you're out on the road. But if you're sitting in your office doing your planning for Monday for the week, I'm not under my cards where I'm typically out there, to Guy's point, marketing. I'm in my contacts where I'm actually working those relationships. So if my goal for the week is to make one new sale, sponsor one new teammate, make one new referral, recruit one new affiliate, whatever that goal is, there's a good chance it boils down to relationship. And you're either adding new relationships to your list of relationships, right? We call that going out and prospecting or generating leads. And you can do that through a number of ways. But once you have those leads, quote unquote, those prospects to work, the question is, are you working them? Because for a lot of people out there, and Guy, I know we sort of laughingly shake our head when we hear this. We see people who are out there and they want the one and done. I want to meet somebody. I want to tell them what I do. And I want them to buy from me after I talk to them for 5 minutes. Like, that's typically the thought process out there for a lot of people. And the reality is the sale is happening on average statistically between the 5th or 6th interaction and the 12th interaction. And now with all the noise we have going on around us in our environment, it's happening more towards the 11th, 12th interaction. And it's about building rapport and creating a trust process, to Guy's point, offering that help to that potential customer and showing them that what you do can help them and allowing them to make that informed decision. Well, how are you going to be able to accomplish that if you are not managing those relationships effectively? So in here, I've gone in, I've opened up my contacts. Right next to the search tab in your desktop, you're going to see a little gear. All I did was select that gear and I sorted my contacts by upcoming follow-up. Guys, this is making our plan for the week, working efficiently by leveraging tools and learning a few skills today on Monday to implement this. So you go in, you search your contacts, you filter them by upcoming follow-ups, and I can see, I've got to follow up with Paul in about 26 minutes here. Now, the nice thing is I'm proactively pulling this information, but here's the reality of Shuffle. If I just have these notifications set, my phone's going to go off. If I put my notifications on, my phone's going to go off and it's going to say, it's time to follow up with Paul. Guy talked about getting rid of the brain damage of thinking what you have to do and actually just following along with your system. Reality check, everybody. If your phone goes off and tells you to follow up with somebody, all you have to do is take that action. If now when your phone goes off isn't the right time to follow up with them, then reset the follow-up or readjust it or come back to it later. But know that it needs to get done if you want to leverage getting that task completed so that it moves you towards accomplishing that goal. So again, I've got a few follow-ups going on. I've got to follow up with Guy in an hour. So I would open up Guy's profile here. I could look at my follow-up reminders, and I could see in an hour and 38 minutes, I'm going to reach out to Guy and give him a happy birthday message. How many potential customers is it their birthday right now? There's birthdays happening every single day. When's the last time you followed up with a customer or a prospect with a personal note or an outreach just to see how their day is going? Some of this doesn't even have to be about business in order to create and sustain that relationship. So I've got Paul here, 24 minutes. I've got access to all of his information. We call this the relationship loop. I get a notification in 24 minutes. It goes off. Time to follow up with Paul. First thing I want to do, I want to open up Paul's profile. Who is Paul? How do I know Paul? When have we interacted? And what did we interact about? Those are the 4 simple questions I'm trying to answer. I might come over to my notes section, whether I'm on my phone or whether I'm on my computer, pulling up the notes. I might say, oh, wow, yep, I remember I met Paul at that networking event. We had that great conversation about X, Y, and Z. I might click on and review that note. Or we had a follow-up coffee later on, and I asked him a few questions. He knows, or we know a mutual friend. Maybe I wrote down a note and actually took a shot of that to load it up, so I had it all organized in one location. Again, I want to get rid of the brain damage of trying to think, who is this person? How do I know them? When have we interacted? When are we going to interact again? I know when we're going to interact again because my timer is going to go off in 23 minutes. Again, this is simple stuff, but we're implementing a system that if we follow the system, if we follow the plan, the results are inevitable. A follow-up will be completed with Paul. I'll come in and I can create an upcoming note, or I can continue to add and edit this note with additional details. Had another great call with Paul. He's decided to move forward in putting in an order with us. And, I need to take the next steps on following up or fulfilling that order. Maybe that's the antithesis of that conversation. I can quickly come in and I can quickly take any of those notes and save it right here in Shuffle. Maybe Paul tells me now is not the right time. He appreciates the follow-up. It was great to hear how everything was going. I could come in there. I can go to my follow-up reminders. Maybe I followed up with him early. I block time to do my follow-ups, and we'll talk about time blocking in just a second here. But I might come in and I might say, okay, let's mark that follow-up as complete. Well, guys, here is the key to creating the relationship loop. Once you end an interaction, you log a note, you mark the previous follow-up as complete, and you set the next follow-up. And maybe Paul says, you know what, the timing is really bad. I'm waiting for things to open up. Our brick and mortar business has been out of work for a while. We're trying to get new employees in. Can you reach out to me in a month? I can come down. I can say from now, sure, no problem. Why don't I go 4 weeks from now, about a month from now? And I'll put, general follow-up. And I'll hit create. Guys, I've just created another follow-up, and in 28 days, my phone goes off and it's time to follow up with Paul. I've checked that activity off the list. Maybe my goal is to follow up with 8 people every single day, and I move on to the next follow-up. So this is that process. And as long as I end every interaction with taking a note, marking the previous follow-up as complete, and setting the next follow-up, I'm never going to allow a contact, a relationship to fall through the cracks. And that's half the battle, everybody. Following up and staying engaged with everybody. Now, maybe you're having these things set throughout the day and they're going off throughout the day, and you want to be a little bit more efficient with your time. And we've talked about what we have going on during the week with the Week at a Glance. Right now, we're doing sprint planning, right? 11 a.m. Central Time. Tomorrow is Tech Tuesday at 2 with Master Trainer Kathy Inman. On Wednesday, we block out Edge Global, plug in and learn and understand and develop your skills there. Thursday's Roundtable Mastermind, or Friday with the Founders. And I want to allocate time for these things. We make things that are important a priority. We call them win list items. What is important right now? So if you haven't already, start yourself a calendar. There's a million free calendars out there. Heck, I don't care if it's the calendar that goes with the pin and all the nice landscape that you pin to your board, or a calendar that's stationary that you flip through the pages and fill out. I've used all of them. Find one that works for you that you can stick with, and start allocating some time, blocking some time. Guy, I recently started reading a new book. It's called Peak Performance. And a majority of this book is actually based on rest and not activity. And one of the things they talked about is blocking out, 90-minute, 2-hour-long stints of focused work, and then giving yourself maybe a 10-minute break, and then another 90 minutes to 2 hours and a 10-minute break. Those little breaks help you continue to clear your mind, reset, and go in with the right attitude, moment, and process for each event that you're going into. So when I block out my calendar, and this is something everybody is capable of doing, okay? Don't sell yourself short. 10 a.m. I'm in Mountain Time. This is our sprint call. We're almost all the way through this thing. Then I'll block out some time. Maybe that's when I'm going to be doing all of my follow-ups for the day between noon and 2 p.m. So I will come back during that time slot. I would open up my shuffle and I would check off all of these follow-ups that might be happening today. If I'm feeling a little bit saucy and I got some extra time, maybe I'll reach into the follow-ups that are going to be happening tomorrow or later this week. Again, depending on the notes I have, I want to follow up with the right person at the right time and get them the right information that I want to be interacting with them. Okay, so what I typically will do is I'll block in recurring events, right? Every Monday, without fail, we're going to be on here talking about sprint planning and why you should be implementing a plan. On Tuesdays in the afternoon, we've got Tech Tuesdays at 2 p.m. with Kathy Inman. I've got that recurring every week. An all-day activity, I try to plug in and download some mindset of a champion, and we encourage all of you guys to check that stuff out. On Thursday, mastermind, roundtable, and then Friday, the same time. And guys, I'm going to show you step-by-step how to do this. You click on it, right? I like to go Friday with the founders, right? That's as simple as it is. You block in, maybe give it a color. I like to color code things. If you have other things outside of work, maybe it's family things or personal things or spiritual things that you need to be working on, use color coding. And then I will set these things up for repeat. As simple as that. Does it repeat? Yes, it does. And it repeats weekly every Friday. I hit save. Voila. That's how easy it is to make a plan and to allocate some time. If I know I'm going to be doing this, maybe it's your ultimate side hustle that you're working on. Maybe you got the regular 9 to 5 going on, then adjust yours accordingly. If you can't make the 10 a.m. call, remind yourself when you do have time to watch the replay. Remind yourself Sunday night to make your plan for the week. It is up to you, right? Guy, you just mentioned it. Nobody's going to do the work for you. We may show you a path. We may give you the tools. We may give you the training and the knowledge, but ultimately you have to be the one who absorbs it, learns it, consumes it, and puts it into practice in order to yield the results. It's like when we used to go to the gym, guy. I could do curls, great, but I couldn't do a curl for you. You know what I mean? It's not like me doing this is going to help you get stronger. I can show you the form. I can show you what you need to do. I can show you the alterations and all of those other things, but ultimately you have to do the work. So we've talked about time blocking. We've talked about making that plan. We've talked about, who's in progress right now and how we can leverage shuffle to accomplish that, right? Keep those follow-ups going. You should have a follow-up set for almost every contact in shuffle, and you should be filtering by your follow-up so you know the 4, 5, 6 that you're going to be talking to this week or today so that you can be on top of it and get that information out and done. Here's the other thing. Life's going to happen, right? Chaos is going to happen. The fires, they're going to pop up. We call them the unexpected expectancies. You don't know what they're going to be, but expect that they're going to rear their ugly head on you this week. Okay? Can you proactively think about that? Again, I'm just looking at my week planning sheet here. Think about a situation that may cause you stress this week. Do you have an important meeting? Do you have an important call? Do you have that one thing that needs to get done? Guy, I know we got taxes coming up. Man, isn't that stressful? Okay. What is your best solution for addressing that stressor this week? For me, maybe it's just blocking out an hour's worth of time where I can eliminate all of the distractions around me and really take a deep breath, set my attitude, moment, and process, get amped for that event, and then sit down and dive into it. Maybe it's eating that massive elephant and I just need to take the first bite and I need to allocate some time and prepare myself to get in there and take that first bite. And once I do, I'll realize the second bite, the third bite, the fourth bite come a little bit easier. But I've got to make a plan and put that plan into action. And then, Guy, I'm going to throw this one over to you because I know part of this is about mindset. I know part of this is about confidence. You mentioned some of that earlier on today's call. It's who will you look for or look to for inspiration this week? How are you going to pour into yourself a little bit? So, Guy, go on ahead.
No, we'll sort of wrap it up here. I know we're getting a little long, but it's the accumulation of who you hang out with. It really is. We all know that there's positives, there's negatives, there's people out there that are there for their benefit of how they can help you, compared to they're there for the benefit of helping themselves. We all know that there's so much that people can be doing on a daily basis and coming in and out of people's lives for reasons. But knowing that every day I'm going into my day with the abundance of gratitude, with the abundance of excitement, and knowing that it's another day I get the opportunity to chat with people, hopefully be an inspiration for them to motivate themselves. To your point, we can't do things for you. You've got to make the decision if it's going to be something worthwhile to do. Anything worth doing should take time. Anything worth doing should be worth doing. So that's sort of my feelings. I'm always having to work on myself, on motivating myself, on inspiring myself, listening to podcasts, listening to audibles, whatever that may be. ER and I are in like mind like that. A lot of times, reading sometimes, especially with a 9-month-old, reading will put me to sleep. So I've got to listen to things to keep me going. So we always encourage people to make sure that you take time for your will, fill, and reskill to prep for the week. That's a lot of what we do on the weekends, but a lot of our weekends as well is to help inspire others when we get those calls, when we get those text messages, instant messages, whatever those are to make sure that we're readily available, make sure that we're always here for support, and that we do that based on our mindset and our path to ultimately support others. So if there's any questions, we can take those. Otherwise, I'll throw it back to you, ER, and we will let everyone get on to their week.
Yeah. Any questions from anybody out there? Going once, twice. All right, everybody. I want to thank you for taking just a little bit of your day out on Monday to think about making a plan. Hopefully you've taken this time to make your plan. And now it's about putting that plan into action. To Guy's point, today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. I can't change what happened yesterday or the day before, and I cannot work into the future. It's actually the choices that we make today that are going to define where we get to in the future. So hopefully you've made the right choice. I know you did joining this call. Now make the right choice to implement your plan and put that into action. We will see everybody for tomorrow's Tech Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central Time with Kathy Inman. This is where we're going to learn all about the technology. We're going to talk about a use or a specific process that you can be leveraging Shuffle. Much like you learned about following up with people today, we're going to dig into the meat of either relationships, networking, or marketing, and leveraging Shuffle for that. So don't miss out for Tech Tuesdays at 2, and we'll see you guys on that next call. Let's make it a great week, everybody. Take care.